Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all having an excellent day. I have some news about upcoming classes. We are going to be changing the schedule for this class. For the country crowd, it's just too late, especially if you're on the East Coast, right? And I think that that's part of the reason why we have lower attendance with this particular class than I'm used to. So I'm going to try that because it isn't a very good time for most traditional agricultural minded people, right?
I agree. Yep.
There you go. All right. I love hearing that. Let's go
Love that.
ahead and head into Let's Go Help 2. And I'm actually going to adjust the time right here with you guys. So you'll see how all of that wonderful information gets played out. I do want to check and make sure that I have the time for Amber's class on Thursday correct in my head, and that it ends at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. No, it is a 2-hour class. Okay, that is what I wanted to see. And then Tony's, so I'm going to have to, oh, whoops, wrong one. Yeah, I'm going to have to start it at 5. I was thinking about putting it all the way back to 4:30, but that will be 5 Mountain Time, which is 4 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Central, and 7 o'clock Eastern. Still a little bit late for Eastern, but hopefully a lot better, right? Let's see here. And so we will go back to 5 o'clock p.m. And that will, I think, help everybody a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful. And is that you,
Thank
Carol?
you. Yes, thank you.
Very welcome. I
This is
thought
my
so.
bedtime now.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I do appreciate your participation and the oops, I didn't mean to send a message. Sorry, I'm doing too many things at once. Now it's all updated, and that will be not, of course, next week. That will be the Let's Go Trio, but the week after that, it will be at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 6 o'clock p.m. Central, and 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. All right, everyone? Wonderful. Now, let's head over to all of the tabs that I have prepared for this class already. There's so much more out there. With, I wanted to see if Sharon Seymour also came to class tonight. Hopefully she will make it. I did find some specific information within my tabs that applies to what Sharon Seymour is doing. And so I'll have to find her around sometime and see if we can't find some additional resources for her. However, with Colleen being here, Colleen had asked me about the specialty crops. Is that right, Colleen?
Yes, ma'am. I sure did, because I was just trying to think in my mind, because I am in the process of trying to get a high tunnel contract. If I get a high tunnel, I will have more than enough. Like the high tunnel will really make it possible for me to focus on some specialty crops. So yes, and then I can get another grant, I'm hoping.
All right, so let's check this out. While it's right here, I had gone through and I eliminated some tabs we didn't really need and cleaned it up and know what's on, to some degree, each tab within these overall group tabs. All right, and that's why I happen to specifically see this right here. So this is the new program for specialty crop growers. Now, when we talked about it and you talked about the high tunnel, that was a business contract, you said. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see what's going on there. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Colleen.
So, I'm not exactly sure. Like, it's not a business contract. They call it a contract.
Okay.
And I don't, because I'm working with the conservation agent himself, and he said that he'll come out to my house and he will see what my resource concerns are and then see what I'm eligible for. I don't even really know what that means, but I'm just letting him take control on this. But I've had other people that get it, and they basically give you like $15,000 to build a high tunnel. And so I don't know how it works. Yeah.
Well, we would love to hear about how that continues to go on for you. I was going to see if we couldn't find a little bit of information about it for you.
Yes,
What's your
yes.
state, if you don't mind my asking?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Okay, I did know it. I couldn't remember if we had covered that previously or not. Okay, so
And I believe that this one is by county. I could be wrong, but this is specifically something I had to call like my local county Department of Human Services to ask about.
Okay, so is it, say that again, that last, you had to call who?
My local, like, I think it was the Department of Human Service, I don't know, the Human Services Department, but I have, yeah, I think
Human
that's why.
Services. Would that be Health and Human Services? Is that what
Yes,
you're
yes,
okay.
yes.
So is it the Natural Resources Conservation Service Center in conjunction with the Health and Human Services Department?
You know what, I'm not sure, but I can pull up my paperwork and I will let you know.
Okay, very awesome. Let's see what we can find without adding Health and Human Services to our
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Okay.
Because I didn't pull that up. I just called the lady at that place, and maybe they all have this same office, and I just have the same phone number because it's a small town. I'm not sure.
That is definitely a possibility. I know that the numbers are very similar to each other for a lot of the departments here in Utah. I was just verifying that I was having that right. And they have a lot of similarities. Some of them, even though they have different numbers, when you call one of them, their answering service, like AI, will say more than one department as well, right? Even though they have a different number listed, they're also mentioned. Yeah, it gets confusing. I completely understand where you're coming from. Okay, so here is the High Tunnel Initiative overall as far as the USDA. So let's pull that up into a new tab. So I'm going to right click it and click open link in new tab. Then they also have specifically Tennessee, the NRCS, which is the Natural Resources Conservation Service, including high tunnels. All right, so we'll open that link in a new tab. Let's see what else it has for us. Interesting. This is a grants.gov. It has a really weird link designation, apply07.grants.gov. Very, very interesting. So let's pull that up in a new tab. Then you start getting into something trying to look like a .gov, right? Highergov.com. Even though it's got a check mark, the link is safe. That doesn't mean that they don't have a safe website that isn't still trying to scam you or mislead you or get money from you or whatever the case may be. This is another .com. This is like an overall article, like an overview, an article it looks like. So let's go ahead and open that link in a new tab. And then it's just going to continue on into .coms until you get here, which this is another overview, but this is by CPAs through Tennessee, some sort of University of Tennessee, it looks like, would be my guess there. Yep, the University of Tennessee system, it says right here. All right, so open link in new tab. And here is something from the University of Tennessee, fiscal year 2022, NRCS Urban Agricultural Grants. However, these previously listed topics, grants, programs, whatever, you can take some of the wording from those and make it into a new search. So let's go ahead and pull that up because I love highlighting for that, highlighting that for you guys. So we're going to open that link in a new tab as well. And then we're going to stop, even though they have pages going on. We still had a lot of .com-y kind of in there, right? So I want to try one other thing. We have a lot of great material to go through. I doubt if I pull much more up, but I want to show you if it does change. It doesn't always change it, but a lot of times if you'll add resources and assistance to the beginning of your search, whatever it may be, and hit enter, it will eliminate a lot of the .com junk. So now you have .gov, .gov, .gov. The third one previously, I believe, let's just check, was a .com. No, it was a different .gov though. Then the fourth, okay, so the fourth one was a .com. So here we have .gov, 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 and nope, it's still the fourth one. So it didn't change it a lot here. So those are going to be the searches that have less opportunity, because it is a very specific research question. High tunnel with the NRCS, excuse me, listed in there. Plus we have the word contract. I wonder if we remove the word contract, what that will do. Now it does have another .com here, and then you have like something by the NRCS, NRCS on YouTube, it looks like. Don't quote me, okay? Now we've eliminated the word contract. Let's see if that changes our search. It does, but it just puts a different .com as the fourth. How funny. Very funny. Okay, so we have a lot to go with here anyway. We'll grab all of these and I'm gonna put them into an answer for you in Let's Go Help 2, okay? Let's see here, we'll put this one on the right and this one, or excuse me, on the left and this one on the right.
Would you not try the word grant, or does that not pull up anything?
It's gonna limit you and get more clickbaity kind of junk in there. I can also provide a meme for you that will help you to create your own searches. And you'll see on that meme, the very last word listed is grant, okay? Yeah, you just don't want to use that, or free very often, right? Free is something I kind of try after I've tried a bunch of different things to see if I can find something that's listed as free, right?
So funny, because those are the two main words, free grants, that I'm always looking for.
Well, okay, so if you listen, really listen to what Matthew tells you guys all the time, he'll tell you that he is clickbait to get you guys in. And then what we do together as a community, including when we get to work with Matthew through chat, right? That's the substance. That's the real nitty gritty, the stuff that will get you to where you need to go. He's bringing you into the community because it's hard to get, especially America's attention, right? The average attention span used to be 10 seconds. Now I think it's dropped down to like 6 or 7 seconds. Like if you can't get somebody's attention in 6 to 10 seconds, bam, they're gone, right? So it's hard to get people's attention. So he gets your attention, and then you come in and we start teaching you all of this material, showing you the links that are out there where we've gone through the USDA. There's just a list of loans and grants is what they'll call them. And then within that though, sometimes they'll list things that are programs, initiatives. Sometimes they won't. That's why grant is a very limiting word. And you want to more say what you want to do and ask if there's anything geared towards working with you to get towards that goal, right? Like I always try to show people how to word it without using the word help. So many people don't like that word. You can easily ask for help or assistance. But if you're uncomfortable with it, there are still ways to word it without using the word grant. Or even funding. Funding is okay, it's better than grant, but really you don't want to ask for money, which is basically funding, another word for asking for money. Now, if you're saying, I have all of these goals with my business and I can fund this much of it, and then I'm really looking for some backup and some support, is there anything out there like that? And you could use funding there a little bit more readily because you've already said what your contribution to the project is. So there's just different ways of playing it, and we don't ever work from a script because we're trying to get ourselves to be like a person to the other person on the other end of the line. We all deal with AI. We've all been dealing with automated services well before AI was even much of a conversation outside of something like Matrix. It's too easy to, how do I want to put it? It's not like you don't know that the person on the other side is a person, but it's too easy to throw them into, it's just another number. It's just another one in line. It's not a real individual. It's a background character, kind of, right? And you want to become a person to them. And so you want to be able to change your wording or change your energy. If I come to somebody and they're very calm and they're very businesslike and very professional, I'm going to try to lower my own natural energy and use more professional or specific wording, right? We don't have to use educated words, but specific, direct while polite kinds of conversations instead of a conversation style interaction. Does that make sense? How you would deal with different people and change up your communication styles?
It does. Until you like start to really kind of break down the, the initial uncomfortableness, and then you can kind of start to, be yourself a little bit more. But yes, I do get that. Because I'm one to use
one of the big things is,
and it's hard for me sometimes to like be professional.
I'm sorry, I missed some of what you said there, but what you really want to do is do this so often that it isn't as awkward in those first moments, right? Like, okay, so when we've started jobs, right, in the past, whether we're working for someone or working for ourselves now, when we started, whether we're teenagers or we just started a job last week and we're 52, it's whoever, your most challenging experience of learning a new job, right? It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and you really don't like it. Even if you like the idea of what you're going to end up doing, having somebody watching over your shoulder, it's awkward. But the more you go through it, the more you get to know people, the more you deal with people in a customer service sense, the more you have to interact with strangers or new workers, new bosses as they come in, all these different things that each of us have had in different amounts, right? That's
Right.
the same thing as dealing with these folks on the phone. If you do it on a regular and consistent basis, even if you're only able to call 1 or 2 a week, but you consistently locate at least 1 or 2 sources to call every week and follow through on that, you will see that in a month or 2, it really won't feel as awkward anymore.
It's funny because I've been a dental hygienist for 17 years, and I literally deal with a different personality every hour on the hour when I'm working. And I sell insurance, so you just never know who you're going to get. So I'm used to that. But for some reason, when you're over the phone, it's just different.
It is. And so you want to change that. You want to
When you're not the one in charge, I get that. When you're not the one driving, it's different.
It is, right? And so that's one of the things with these classes that I play a real balancing act in and of itself, right? So I try to model a lot of these things for you guys. So I can both be assertive and be the one more in charge of the conversation, or I can step back like I just did and let the other person have the floor more strongly. Does that make sense? And all of that plays a part in it, just feeling out the other person and getting more and more comfortable doing that on the fly as you meet new personalities on the other side of the phone.
Yes. I think part of my problem sometimes is because you just don't, like you said, you don't know, and you know that this is something that you need or you want, and you're not necessarily sure if you've even talked to the right person, and you're like, I just want, I don't know. And it can just be nerve-wracking. Like, but to tell you the truth, the people that I have spoke to have been very kind, because for the most part, the people in these businesses they're out there to help. You know what I mean?
A lot of them are. And there's a story that Matthew Lesko likes to tell, and I've heard it a multitude of times. You might catch him tell it sometime. He was working for a client that was dealing with potatoes, and they needed to know about the potato yields and all these different things for that year or the last 5 years, whatever it is. The story is Matthew's, right? I don't know it as well. And he got passed around and had to call different places and then passed around again. And he finally got to this one person who was so excited to talk about potatoes. And it was all Matthew could do to actually end the conversation when he had gotten enough information, because this one guy was just so excited about talking about potatoes. But if he would have gotten frustrated at one of those points when he's just being passed around and somebody's passing them on to somebody else and somebody else and somebody else, by the time he would have reached his potato expert, he'd have been frustrated and complaining about the line he'd been on and all of this. And that guy would have just been ready to get him off the phone. You would have never known how excited that guy was to talk about potatoes.
Right.
And so I think that that's a really good story and a really good example of how to try to breathe inside of ourselves. I have a temper. I get very impatient. I also am a customer service expert. I've been in customer service for 25 years now. and I don't like it when I get bad customer service. So having patience is something I have to practice at. I'm not just preaching at you guys. I have to practice it all the time, I promise you. Sometimes I have to get angry and I still get better results in that moment, but most of the time, if I get angry, I get worse results, even if I manage to get what I needed to get accomplished. So
yeah, more bees with honey, that's for sure.
That's what my former mother-in-law used to say. Okay, so let me get this information down for you. I think that was, oh no, I didn't copy any of that. Didn't I go through and copy it? I swear I went through. Oh, and I opened it into other links. Okay. Oh, darn it. I wish do you guys remember when they used to let you pick vertically or horizontally for your display?
Yes.
I wish they would still do that. It drives me crazy. Okay. There we go. Oh, they like kind of figured it out. What I like, maybe. Let's see. And this is going to make it so that I can actually see these tabs so that I can copy these links for you. Okay. And then I'm going to put all of the rest of them just down in the comments of the original post. It's not liking that link for some reason. It's not going to allow it to pull up a link preview. I'm not really sure why. That is the first of them. Yeah, it's kind of odd. And now I've got to get back here. Okay, so that was the first one. And that is the overall USDA program, okay, for the high tunnels. Now, this is specifically your state.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about looking like for a government thing, like not a federal. I guess that's what it would be called.
I'm guessing, let's check. I'm guessing that this is going to lead you into checking for your state. No. Okay. Wait, this is still Tennessee. Did I close the other one down? I must have. Let me go back to where we were. I don't know if I can make it do that. Okay. Silly thing. Doesn't want to do anything I want it to do now. There we go. Okay. Yes, that was what happened there. Okay, so let's click that. So we can click this and see if there's different funding or if they're going to tell you to go to your state. No, that's weird. I could have sworn that we had one that wasn't about Tennessee. Maybe it just didn't show as Tennessee in the link, and I thought it was more overall USDA, but it looks like that is also specifically Tennessee. It's in the link here. So it wasn't in, not to say the link, when it describes it on Google, right? It didn't say Tennessee in the one of the links, but it looks like it was Tennessee. See, these are two different links. So that's neat. So it's not an overall program that we pulled up the first time, as I had wrongly assumed. It is more specifically for Tennessee as well. And this is a different item about specifically Tennessee high tunnels. So that's kind of cool. All right. And then we got one here, which is what? Is that the second one that we got? Yes. Okay. So this is the second one that we got. Now there is a PDF.
Yeah. Sorry about the sniveling. I can't.
Okay.
I don't know if it's sick or if I'm allergic to all these dang dogs that my mother-in-law brought when she moved in.
Uh-oh. That can definitely be something. I hope that you're not sick, although maybe in this case it would be better if you had a minor cold. Okay, so that is a PDF. And let's just see if we can make this big. Okay, this is neat. Tennessee Natural Resources Conservation Service Urban Conservation Grant. So it probably has an overview about the high tunnels, and I would guess more than just the high tunnels.
Yeah, well, they also have in Tennessee in the rural areas, they have a lot of things for farmers. And I don't know, and I don't even know if I guess that's off subject of the high tunnels, but just because they're really trying to boost the economy and the local rural, like underserved areas. And it seems like here recently, I've been hearing a lot more about things that they're doing for those areas in Tennessee. I'm sure it's more than just Tennessee, but I don't pay attention to everything else.
Totally. I do pay attention to some other states, but it's just those that I've lived in or I'm around, really, right? So
Right.
I think we all have some sort of a regional view, depending
Right.
on, right? Most of us don't have something like where Matthew is really looking at things all over the nation sometimes, although it is still a relatively regional view. If you watch, you've got a lot of pretty close to home because that's how our algorithms work, right? They find things closer to us more quickly than they do further away.
Right. I wish I would have known about this when I lived in Missouri, because it would have been amazing if we could have bought the property adjacent to ours. It was awesome.
Well,
But that's
I hear that for sure. Okay, let's see. So this is the article that covered it. Then let's pull this up. Archer, which this one
the
is. Okay,
university.
this is another overview from the university. Oh, I thought we had the University of Tennessee. Remember, it even said that. It had the link, and it says the Tennessee. Weird. Okay, that's really bizarre. Maybe it'll also apply.
I don't maybe. I mean, we're right next to each other.
It doesn't hurt to look at it since it did pull it up, and it does even have Tennessee in the link, right? Very, very strange. Very weird. Okay. So don't feel alone when you guys find something that just doesn't work the way somebody told you that it was going to, or looks different, right? Because different devices will look different than what you'll see here or what somebody maybe explains to you. You have to be ready to kind of look around and check on your device and see if it's displaying what they're trying to tell you in a little bit of a different fashion. All right, so we already provided this one. That one apparently was a duplicate link from over here. Very fun though. And then we started here with the specialty crops and didn't really even get into that. Do you want this information as well for
Yes,
being ready to pursue after the high tunnel? Is that kind of what I understood from you?
yes, ma'am.
But you're not quite ready at this time.
No,
You know,
I can be, because we have plenty of room to, if it's anything that we can like right now. I mean, we planted our garlic before the first freeze. So if there's anything, that we can get started on that can be outside, you never know. I mean, not right now because the ground is frozen, but who knows how long it's going to take for this other thing. And I don't want to wait. Like if you know what I mean?
mhm.
Because when I was looking into specialty crops, it's a lot of things that we already grow.
Very
So I
good,
don't
very
know why
good.
they're
So
considered.
did you see this list right here while you were explaining what you had going on?
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Oh, mushroom. You should see. We live up on the mountain. We have already so many natural mushrooms that grow.
Very
It's
cool, very cool.
so many.
That's awesome. Okay, and so here are the eligibility requirements, right? And so then you have find your FSA location. I'm pretty sure that's Farm Service Agency. All right,
Yep.
are you already working with your Farm Service Agency?
Is that who gives you your farm and track number?
I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to the level of being able to be considered a producer yet. I have to go through that stage myself because I've been renting and everything since Wyoming in 2016.
Okay.
And
Well,
so
I think I'm trying to find that email and I can't remember. I'm gonna type in FSA. That might be it. Because I did have to get a farm and track number, and we finally got that. So that makes us eligible for all of the grants that come through the USDA. That's what they told me anyway.
Okay, farm and tract number. A farm and tract number and a farm number are both identification numbers used by the government to identify farms and farmers. Farm tract number, a number that identifies a unit of land that is operated as a farm or part of a farm. A farm tract number is associated with the land, not the farmer. Interesting. Farm number, a number that identifies the location of a farm. A farm number is associated with the land, not the farmer. A farm number is required to apply for many USDA programs, including FSA loans and microloans, FSA disaster assistance, USDA crop insurance, the Environmental Quality Incentives Program through the Natural Resources Conservation Service, and participating in FSA County Committee Elections. Interesting. Okay, so let's also, let me get.
I would have never even thought to Google that. I don't even know why.
Researching is something I've been doing since I was a small child. So, and I was around as computers became more and more a part of our everyday lives. I had a computer at home by the time I was 11 or 12, right? And I'd already taken some computer classes at that point. So even being born in 1978, right? I really have a lot of experience in both researching and utilizing a computer. So don't feel silly. This is
well, they sent me a bunch of that I don't even know what to do with, so I can get like my tax exemption number and stuff. And I'm like, I don't even know what half of this stuff is or how to fill it out. So I haven't even started on that yet.
So let's get item number 19 for free tax aid. Okay.
Hmm.
And if you don't qualify, as I don't qualify for the overall getting somebody to speak with you one-on-one kind of a thing, there are still clinics that you can go to, usually at a local library or something like that. And they don't ask the same kind of criteria usually for like income requirements and things like that. It's just on a first come, first basis. And you get in and you get to talk with a legal expert. And so those are kind of just open. And that's something I'm pretty positive I could make use of. And I don't qualify to get the one-on-one free assistance. I make too much money, right, between my husband and I. Okay, and so that's why Matthew tells you, yes, there are things that are out there, and they're usually more prominently placed in front of us that are for the low cost, or excuse me, for the low income, or for those who are in ready to lose their shelter, or homeless shoes, or people that are having trouble paying for food or paying for childcare, all of those kinds of things. But the rest of the people out there can qualify for a large portion. You just have to look past the stuff that's a little more prominent. And it does take a little more time and research, as well as familiarity and experience, right? Okay, let me make sure I'm going to be able to copy this so that I can place it where we want it, because I'm going back and forth between a cajillion places. This is item number 19 out of the Let's Go Meta Grants report, and that is all about free tax help. Make sure I've gotten all those for you, but I do want to double check before I delete any of those. And I got that out of the Meta grant, so there's a little link to take you to the Meta. I apologize. Go ahead.
Some of the websites that she sent me were the USDA, which we did, Farmers.gov, and then the home in BCS, which was USDA.gov, and growing all season high tunnels NRCS, which I think we did, and then high tunnel system initiative, which was through the NRCS. So those were pretty much all the ones that we got. I think the only one I don't recall was the Farmers.gov.
Okay. And so, but you can go in and check that out, is what you're saying, right? Yeah. It's here for you to go in and check it out.
No, I was just kind of letting you know, like, because I said, let me pull up that email that she sent me. So yeah, it was all of the ones that the one that I'm doing is definitely, it looks like through the NRCS.
Nice.
Or the USDA. I think it's all kind of
the USDA is over the NRCS.
So yep.
And that's why it gets confusing as well, right? Because we aren't in that world every day. We don't necessarily know what goes where and who's in charge of who and who works with who and all of these different pieces. And then, so here is item number 26, just to always remind people, this is great information about agricultural living and business. And again, it's out of the meta. And then, oh, no, I already have it. How to save your post.
It would definitely be very handy if we could get a grant to get some equipment, because that is definitely something that we need.
All right. So is there anything else that we can add onto your post for you, Colleen, while you have the floor? Any other questions or anything?
No, so these are just pretty much high tunnel. Is this if I needed like a,
yes.
Yeah. If I needed to get some equipment, could I just go into these same places and just look and see where the grants are for that?
You can also contact them and just explain to them what you are trying to do, what you really need to do in order to do this, and the other thing, and see what they offer you as opportunities.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate your help.
Absolutely. All right. And then let's go and dig into my resources for a little bit. And when we open up for open-ended question session, if you want to raise your hand, maybe see if anybody else wants to raise their hand, and then also raise your hand as well. And we can look for that topic next. Okay. So having said that, let's get back into where, oh, and you're comfortable getting into Let's Go Help too and getting that answer. Is that right, Colleen?
Yes, I will find it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, my dear. All right. Now, what I was thinking, and we'll probably just kind of touch on this a little bit and get more in depth with it next week, but I did want to share resources that I had gone through that have been requested in the past. And let me just check to see. No. Okay, so Sharon Seymour did not get a chance to join us, it looks like, tonight. Those were the two members that I knew specifically had requested information along those lines, and they were already pulled up within these tabs that I've had ready for you guys for months. So what do you want to do when you're starting a farm? That's what a lot of our agriculturally interested members are talking to us about. It sounds like Colleen is further along than that, but the majority of the questions I answer are for those who are looking to start a business and a farm, right? So a business plan, that goes for any business. Some will need smaller, but you can always go bigger. Some will require a little more formal business plan. It all depends on what each of us wants to do individually. So how to start a farm, plan your operation, right? This is a really fun little tab because it takes you to a lot of great opportunities. You start with your plan, all right? And I think it's going to take us to someplace on the page. Oh, no, it did. Okay, let me, wow, that's weird. To open a new one over here. Let's see if that's what happened. It did. Okay. And it looks like this has changed too. So let's tear into that next. So here on this initial tab, you have all of these different opportunities. If you're wanting to get agricultural funding, having some sort of at least outline of a business plan or an elevator pitch or a Canva business plan, those are a little more simplistic business plans to start with, will be very helpful to you. Don't feel that you have to have something like that. If you really want to have assistance with doing that, you can go to a multitude of sources, as we always talk about with business. The SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, and as we talk about things, let me go ahead and add them. So we have America's, notice the double S there, America's SBDC, Small Business Development Center, Sierra Boy David Charlie.org, right? America's SBDC.org. They have, oh, and now it is a cowboy, how appropriate. They have amazing mentorship. Just cannot speak highly enough of it. Definitely myself have benefited from at least $30,000 to $40,000 worth of free business mentorship through the SBDC. I'm also starting to get business mentorship and have now for 6 to 8 months from score.org, and that is equally as valuable, but I only meet with my business mentor from score.org every 6 weeks. Whereas my business mentor with the SBDC, I meet every week now. Now we've taken a break from my move and all of that. We've seen each other once. The holidays came, then January 7th. So next week, next Tuesday, we'll start meeting every week again, okay? Most people meet with their SBDC counselors more towards about the 2-week mark. You can always work with them if you're looking for more or less interaction. The score.org, you're probably going to be meeting with them less overall, whatever pattern you set up. I've only experienced one consistent score.org mentor. The other that I tried to engage with right at the beginning of all the lockdown stuff, and we kind of faded apart, but it really was not that person's fault. I don't feel like that was a crazy time period for, well, let's face it, right? As we're saying, the globe. So I didn't get to experience what that was. We only ever met one time. It was amazing. She was great. And then we didn't get a chance to speak again. Now, Marlon, as I said, I've met with him at least 6 to 8 months, and he is also amazing. I've worked with Matthias Miller for around 2 years and Jess Clifford for around 2 years. And now I'm into my 5th year by several months, right? Really, really amazing, amazing business mentorship. All right, so let me just keep this right here. I think these will be the additional tabs that we talk about outside of the overall topic, okay? So let's see. And that's your business plan. Now, within farming, you have additional opportunities for business mentorship. They're calling it coordinators over here. It's the same basic idea, guys. And so you can get business mentorship through the SBDC, score.org, and through the farming community and governmental resources of the farming community, right? Amazing opportunities. You yourself can become a mentor in the mentorship program. It's different than the, maybe it was the same thing. No, one of these here offered the opportunity. And it may have been here, I believe. Yes, this is the tab here. And I actually thought about moving it then. So these are ways to get involved, and you can actually become a mentor yourself. Find a mentor. Oh, it's through SCORE. Interesting. I didn't read all of it. I just read the overview. So this is a new element of SCORE, it looks like. Something specific. Now, I don't believe that Marlon Shelley is an agricultural mentor. He's done great things with me. I really love his outlook. However, I don't think he's based in the agricultural world. So I might reach out to SCORE and see if, in addition to Marlon Shelley, because I would not want to give him up, he's amazing, if I can work with an agricultural mentor through score.org. Very, very interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead, though, and throw this tab over here into our coordinators, because I really do feel like that belongs over here with the coordinating services. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how to get support in creating that business plan, right? And for those of you who are females, such as Colleen and myself, you can also look in your state, and you can typically get free business mentorship through your Women's Association, Business Center. They have some different names throughout the state, but that generally offers free business mentorship as well. So really a lot of opportunities out there to get very valuable, very experienced, free help in doing all of this through your business process, right? All right, and so then next they have visit, and that is going to be probably visiting like your local farm service agency and maybe some other areas like that. Let's go ahead and pull that one up as well. Here is planning your business. This is that first link, how to start a farm, build your business. They have those same tabs right here so that you can kind of get back and forth really easily no matter where you're at, right? This is going to talk about licensing permits and a tax ID number. Hopefully they would also talk about the farm track number and farm number, you would think, right? Okay, very interesting. Growing your business, your cooperative extension office. Matthew used to talk about it quite extensively. I don't think he talks about it as often anymore. It's still a very valuable resource. That's why I still say Matthew's old reports, Matthew's old videos, they are very valuable, and you can take an outdated link, an outdated video where he talks about different things that go on 9 years ago, and you can take that and make it new today, and it will still provide you with value. It's amazing. And anytime you guys come across things like that, please make note of them somehow. Put them down on a Google Doc, put the links down on a Google Doc, write them down, whatever, and bring them to one of my classes, and we'll work through it, and I will show you how to turn that outdated information, whether it be through a Let's Go report or a Let's Go video, into material current for today. All right, it's just amazing. So cooperative extension office, something Matthew used to talk about more often, still absolutely an amazing resource. Yourextension.org. This is going to be through a state university or college. For example, the Utah State University is what I've seen most commonly for Utah. Colorado, it's CSU Boulder that I've seen most extensively. I think that there is the opportunity for more than one college or university to host extension offices. Don't quote me on that, right? Help determining the legal structure of your business. Of course, that is so, so important. Registering your farm business. So this is probably where you're talking about with the farm number and farm track number. Register your farm business. Once you've determined your business structure, then you want to register it. Great information here. All right, now, then the next visit or the next tab is visiting, what they want you to go and do to visit people, to start creating that knowledge of your community and the people who work with or handle the resources. All right. USDA Service Center. Interesting. So USDA Service Center probably encompasses the, I'm guessing, we'll find out, Farm Service Agency, Natural Resources Conservation Service Center, and possibly the Rural Development Center. All right. Farm Service Agency, Natural Resources Conservation Service. It doesn't talk about the Rural Development Agency. I do think that that is a comparable resource, however. Really interesting, right? So definitely something to take part in. And look, it's telling you, just like Matthew does, before you start asking for funding, create a relationship with your local, I don't know what they would call each different type of, a team member and a team member, okay? So you want to make contact and start getting to know your local team members. For my own, the Farm Service Agency is not as readily applicable. That doesn't mean that they will never have anything for me. But like Colleen, I'm going to be working with the Natural Resources Conservation Service much more closely. However, they don't list rural development. So let's go rural development agencies. I'm pretty sure by state. Let's see what that does. Interesting. Whoa. Rural development. That's really more what I'm looking for here, right? But that's USDA.gov, rural development. Find your local service center, rural development. That's kind of exactly what I'm looking for there. Perfect. Okay, so now this is a third place that you can look to make an appointment with, whether you can go in physically, you need to make a phone appointment or a Zoom appointment, whatever. They do offer alternatives like that. Some of us live very, very far away from the closest opportunity, right? When you're really rural, you can be several hours away. So this is another opportunity, and we will add this over here to Where did we find this? It's the visit. Okay, that's really kind of all the coordinators. So I'm going to put it with what we talked about tonight, but I'll probably move that into the coordinators and we'll talk about all of that again next week. All right. Excellent, excellent path that we have already gotten down, guys. So 3 places that you can either physically or online make a connection, as well as all of this beautiful material that they've put together to help us build our business plans. That is really where you want to start. If you have not already begun that process, putting together some sort of a summary at minimum, words that you could say an elevator pitch business plan is a 1 to 3 minute spiel about your business that if you were to, as the example goes, have an opportunity to get into an elevator with Bill Gates and you could talk to him exclusively for 1 to 3 minutes, what would you say about your business? That's an elevator pitch. All right. That is about the most simplistic form of business plan, very informal. If nothing else, if you can put together something like that, what you would say to your neighbor, what you'd say to your mom, what you've explained probably over and over again to a multitude of people in your life, put that down into some sort of a written presentation, right? That's all that it needs to be. It can get ever more complex. I'm working constantly because it is a very difficult chore to put together an official business plan. And I'm always working on it, right? But this thing should be like huge comparatively if I were to really have been able to complete it. This is a big prospect. So you have to give yourself credit where credit is due and start off where you're at. So the first business models that I didn't do an elevator pitch. So I can provide you guys with information about that. Yep, there it is. Okay. And let's get some Princeton University, right? Like that's an excellent resource for that. And we'll add that to our resources, as well as a Canvas business model. And here's a free one from score.org. So that'll be what we'll use as well. Excellent, excellent resources. And I'll put this all together in a document. I did finally do it for our last class. It did take me a little while, guys. I apologize. But you do have that out there and ready now. A document for the 19th that went through the links that we utilized. All right. So those are the links that we used tonight, what we talked about. We also did talk about specialty crops for Miss Colleen. I think that was right here. Okay. And I will include that just so that anybody who is interested in what we were talking about has the opportunity to look at this information, right? And it actually started right here. We went a little bit further forward. So we'll grab this one and go forward, pull up another tab and place that for it so that it's in order there. Where we started, new programs for specialty crop growers. There's a lot of other information on here. And then into the marketing assistance for specialty crops, MASC, apparently, right? And all of this, as well as these links in the business plan, I'll put together for you in a document and put it with this class. All right? Let's go ahead and take our little break. Go ahead, please. If you had a question about what we covered tonight, I would love to answer it for you before we go.
Yeah, so just about this, you said you're going to put it together with this class. What does that mean and where do I find that? I'm sorry.
No, not a problem at all. I always definitely want to make sure you can find what we're talking about. So this is the teaching session space in the live meetings collection in Let's Go Help 2. My material has just been in the Q&A highlights, but with me changing the hours and doing some different things, I decided I am going to go ahead and add my material at the very bottom of the, it doesn't ever keep me where I want to anymore. My old internet would keep the tabs where I had them. I'm going to put together a unit for the downloads and PDFs area, at the very bottom. And I'm thinking that I might do that for charities as well, not necessarily at the bottom, but put her material in here for you guys as well. She has a lot of really great research that she's put together in order to help those with ADHD and ADHD-like challenges in dealing with the grant hunting world. And I think that's some really wonderful, beautiful material. So I'm going to have it here as well as in the featured section, in the teaching sections, which teaching sessions, which you can find in Q&A highlights. Okay. All right, guys. So it is time for us to take that little break, and we will be back right about the 45-minute wherever you are. That will be 8:45 Pacific, 9:45 Mountain, 10:45 Central, and 11:45 Eastern. Definitely will be better hours next week. So glad to get that agreement from Carol, and I'm sure several others of you felt the same. We will go to 4:00 p.m. Pacific, 5:00 p.m. Central, 6:00 p.m. Wait, I said that wrong. 4:00 p.m. Pacific, 5:00 p.m. Mountain, 6:00 p.m. Central, and 7:00 p.m. Eastern, starting on the 16th. Okay, and that'll be a much better time period, especially for farmers and country dwellers. They're more into following the sun with their daytime, right? So that'll be a lot better. While I'm on break, that will be when Miss Tammy will take over as the host. So please do show her the same respect and courtesy that you provide myself. And if you choose to share your desktop or your background, please make sure to keep your personal and financial information private. Also, if you choose to share your video, make sure you're presentable for the camera, right? So I hope you guys have fun. Miss Tammy is a tons of fun, and she's really getting into a little bit of the USDA area herself. My favorite thing that she's learned about is the Master Gardening Program. However, she's chosen to go through one at a time, which I think is a really good plan, and she's focusing on the, Master Food Production. What is it, Tammy?
The Master Food Preserving Program.
Okay, and they're very similar, and actually they go together kind of hand in hand, right? And it's really neat, and you can do it in any of the states, and that's where she's really focused. And of course, preserving food goes very well with this topic. So plug away. She's really, really excited about all these kinds of things, and if you have interest in that, she's your girl, all right? I'll be back, like I said, about 8:45 p.m. Pacific, 9:45 Mountain, 10:45 Central, and 11:45 Eastern. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Miss Tammy.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm on my cell phone this evening, so we're just gonna have to work with my brain and my memory here. All right. Oh, Miss Charity Spencer, are you there, Miss Charity? She probably fell asleep on me. Charity. All right, let's see here. Does anybody have any questions? I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new names, a couple new names. Does anybody have any questions? How's everybody's New Year, Christmas? Anybody want to talk to me? Let's see here. How about Debbie Garcia? I know you. Kurt Long, Vanessa, Benny, Carol. I don't know what to say, you guys. I'm all ears. Anybody want to talk to me? There's a time. If not, I don't know what else to say, you guys. I don't know what to say other than my normal plea. Does anybody have any questions? Probably not. All right, you guys. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm on my phone. All right, you guys. Well, I'm gonna wait till Sabrina gets back because, I don't like talking to myself. That's the one thing I do not do is talk to myself for very long. I don't like to hear my voice. So, yeah. If anybody has any questions, you're more than welcome to put in the chat or whatever you guys want to do. Very quiet night with all you guys. Okay. I don't know what else to say. I can only entertain so much. And then I start talking to myself, and that's not very entertaining. All right, you guys. Well, I'm gonna put myself on mute, and then if anybody has any questions, we're gonna sit here in silence and meditate. You know, that's not very useful. We're all here to learn, you guys. So, Gary, did you have any questions? iPhone. Kurt, did you have any questions? I'm just coast to coast. Did you have any questions? Anybody? All right, going once, going twice. I'm gonna put myself on mute, and then we can just sit here in the dark and read the classroom rules. Let's see here. Debbie Garcia wants to know what I'm learning. This new stuff that you're learning. Oh, I just got accepted into the Master's Food Preserving program here in the state of California. San Bernardino County. Okay, yeah, San Bernardino, Riverside. Okay, so I got accepted in yeah, so I got a lot of cool new ball book recipe books that yeah, I got some I got some I got a pressure canner. I got some a couple of new equipment today. Not too expensive, but I'm new to the food preserving stuff, so just like anything that I do, I just go all in and try to learn as much as possible and absorb all of it within 16 weeks, you guys. So it is a 16-week program. Okay, so once you complete your 16 weeks, it just depends on your guys' state. You know, a lot of states do this mostly on the internet, but you guys do have to do your labs. So every state does require that you have to do community service.
So there's equipment will help her practice for the labs. If she said, whatever, if she can do anything by herself, equipment to practice.
Yeah, so for me, I am disabled. So I'm not I can't really participate in the labs at the library because due to the space and stuff, it's more convenient for me to do it at home. Okay, so like I said, it's a very small program and it's at a library. So this thing is all state funded. So it is a grant. So I did pay $300 for the course for the 16 weeks, and that's included with all my books and all that good stuff. Okay, let's see here. Sabrina said you were excited about it, so I want to hear, were you interested in canning, dehydration, preserving? Well, in the beginning, I just I've never done any of it. I've never I'm always interested. Yeah, well, Sabrina's interested in the master gardening program, which they do offer here in California, and that's something that I wanted to do as well. But I was they said that it's very intensive program, so I said 16 weeks and a year. Okay, I'm gonna go with the 16 weeks first, and then you know uh get my feet dirty, and then once I complete that, then I'll kind of understand how that particular program, well, they kind of in the same department, the extension, your cooperative extension center or cooperative department, however you want to say it. Yeah. So yeah.
Just like any student,
Yeah, it's like a university. Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff was, I only paid $300, but there's some requirements that I did have to do. I had to, one of the requirements was that I had to, be able to public speak on a Zoom. Okay, so which was cool. I have like experience with that here in the Let's Go To community. So that was a good thing, and I also had to get my food handling card. Okay. That was another requirement. And then I had to take a training prior, like a certification training, like my food handler card. So it was like the exam and then you have to do the training. So it's like I don't know, think I did like 2 days of it, like nonstop. Yeah, so I did a several certifications. I got, my bartending license, whatever you want to call it. I can like serve alcohol here in the state of California. I took my state exam for serving alcohol, bartending. So I took that, got that certification. I should have done this like in high school or something. I would have been balling by now. I feel like I'm so late for everything, you guys. But yeah, you're never too old to learn. I'll tell you that one. So I got certified to be a manager for bartending. So I can supervise all the other people. Yeah. So yeah, got manager status on that stuff. But I have no experience. Yeah, certified to train somebody else. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have no experience, but I got a certification that costs like $5. But I did the training, so I'm good. And then I did some allergen certification for food handling. There's a lot of things that I did, you guys, within like a short frame to get accepted into the program. So yeah, it was a 2025 grant like opportunity that was going to be offered, obviously in the month of January of 2025. So yeah, so I had to complete all of this before like I think it was like November. I just had I had like to go through like a board interview, you guys. I had to like have an interview in front of 5 people. Like I'm sitting here in front of a Zoom call with you guys, but it was in front of 5 master food preservators. So that was kind of intense. That was very nerve-wracking. My first time doing that. But yeah, so I don't know how many people applied to this program, but all I knew that it was it's like 15 people max. So I'm pretty excited that I got accepted. And I get to teach like you guys once when you're in Idaho and both disabled people yeah, get some offers from the restaurant. Yeah, for sure. That is totally. Yeah, I don't work. I'm disabled. I'm on SSA, early retirement. So I'm just living it. I'm just living up all this cool information, taking it all in, just applying it because I'm bored, really. I have nothing better else to do with my time. So why not preserve my food and not have to spend money when I go to the grocery store with all these ridiculous prices these days. Yeah, yeah. So next thing is I really gotta do the gardening thing, but for right now it's the preserving, But that's like being a little miniature scientist, you guys. So like like the science and the math part is so like I was sitting in the books today and I'm like, oh my God, I was getting like vertigo. I was like, oh my God, you guys, I haven't even started my first day of school and I'm already complaining about all these recipes. I don't know where to start. It's like a grant. I don't know where to start. Do I start with the jellies? Do I start with the jams?
Well, you started with the,
Do I start with salsa? Something that I love. Yeah.
you already went through a bunch of modules.
Yeah, well, like, like I've been learning through, all these extensions because like every state offers this, program. So, I went to Alaska, I went to Arizona. I mean, I study all the states, you guys. I just don't study California. I study all of them. So, I know their resources. I know how to navigate, that particular website on which I'm after for. So it's relatively easier to find these resources real quick. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, like how the demographic and like with Alaska, they do a lot of meat and fish and a lot of that stuff here in California. They don't really, we don't really we learn that, but it's not something that we're gonna do in class.
So you tell them
You
what's
know?
in California are geared more toward like vegans and stuff.
Yeah, so that's different. So, their cannings are a little bit different in different states, but other than that, it's relatively everything's the same. It's just different states have different, obviously,
They don't talk a whole lot about any kind of meat, really.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I know I'm talking like a little too much about. I'm just like learning it all,
Like they don't talk
to be
about
honest.
dehydrated.
Yeah, we don't. They
They're
don't.
probably doing other
Yeah, fruit leathers and jams and jellies. None of the beef jerkies and stuff like that. But I guess we're just gonna learn all of it in 16 weeks, and then I'll bring it to you guys full force, and I'll tell you exactly what I learned. Hopefully I'll be a master food preserver before I know it. I've never been a master at anything, so this is pretty cool. I guess. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose, but to gain all this beautiful knowledge and stuff from Matthew Lesko's resources. It took me a while, like 3 years, to find my thing, you guys. So, for all you business owners or business people, sometimes it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Just to get an idea where you want to go. For me, it took about 3 years to really kind of, have an idea of what I wanted to do. I love gardening like Sabrina, and I love food. I love vegetables. So that's when I was like, okay, how do I do this for a cheap price? And how can I kind of get the hands-on experience, but not really have to really go there, but still have to, get that certification, to be able to be recognized or to be able to teach people, I don't have to have a PhD or anything like that. I don't have to have a doctor's degree. I just got to be able to teach the normal preserving, which is, relatively standard throughout nationwide. So I'm gonna sound like a robot, you guys. I'm gonna sound like a preservative robot. All right, you guys. I don't know what else to say about myself other than that. But yeah, I'm taking another a certification course, thermal canning through like factory and stuff like that, with commercial. So that I'm doing that through the Cal Cornell University. That was like a $360 course. Okay, but that's 2 days. Okay, so each day I have to take an exam. So after, it starts from like 12 to 5. I have to take it the 12th and the 13th. Okay, so those 2 days, and then I have to take an exam for each day the next day. So 2 exams I have to take for that particular live virtual. Oh, here's Sabrina. All right, thank you, Sabrina, for saving me. I think I talked everybody out of the Zoom.
No, you're good. There's
Oh my
about the same
gosh.
number as when I went off. It's been about the same throughout class, so don't stress. All right. So now we will open up the floor to whatever questions you may have that will help you on your grant hunting journey, whether that be how to navigate Let's Go Help 2, if you'd like to talk about anything we just talked about, or you'd like to talk about any other topic in the grant hunting world. The floor is open for questions. To raise your hand here in class, you'll want to use the Zoom toolbar. That's the toolbar that came with the Zoom class tonight. And you may have to tap your phone screen if you're coming from a phone, possibly swipe left or right and tap your phone screen. You'll have to play around with it a little bit if you don't automatically see it. On that toolbar on the far left side, you'll see the microphone with audio or mute, unmute. Take your eyes, go to about the middle of your toolbar. Many of you will have a big heart that says react. Click that. There'll be the raise your hand feature and a variety of other reactions you can take. If you don't see that big red or that big heart, excuse me, keep going all the way to the far right side of your toolbar where you'll see a 3-dot menu, a 3-dot more menu, or a more menu. Click that. You should see the reactions tab. Click that, and that should be the raise your hand feature and the other reactions you can have here in class. Any questions, anyone? I do have plenty of material. As you saw, we don't have to open up the floor for questions, but it is a really great opportunity for you to ask anything that's been bothering you. Don't be shy. I promise that if someone here in the audience doesn't have a similar question, someone who watches this as a replay will have that question, and they'll be so grateful that you asked. Any kind of questions at all, folks?
That's what happened to me for the last 15 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of late for everybody, like we mentioned. So hopefully on the 16th, it'll be a little bit better for everybody, and we'll have a little bit more participation because people will be a little bit more awake, right? We do see that we have some new people. Baca, am I pronouncing that right? Coast to Coast Business Network. There is also Kurt Long. I don't know that we've ever gotten to work together before. Hello, everyone that is regular here. Vanessa, Debbie Garcia, I'm pretty sure we've gotten to work together a multitude of times. Colleen, new, but becoming more and more familiar. Miss Charity, one of our volunteer navigator hosts, as well as Miss Tammy Larson. Carol, good to see you always, as with Benny. Anything at all, guys. I would love to answer your questions. Please don't be shy. I promise I won't bite, and I would love to answer any questions that you have. All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and tear back into that material then. So we covered the business plan area. Of course, there is the rest of this here, but I really feel like leaving it in this initial stages is where so many people will really truly benefit, right? All right, let me do that, and let's go ahead and, oh yes, Miss Colleen, please.
I'm sorry. Yes, it took me that long to find my hand to raise, but I'm getting better.
No problem. You know, if anybody else is having a problem after Miss Colleen, you're more than welcome to just unmute yourselves as well. I usually say something like that, and I forgot to tonight. So thank you for bringing that up, Colleen. Please go ahead.
Okay. So this is probably a dumb question, but the small business, what was that? The SBDC.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at their website, yeah, it says something along the lines of the certifications. What would you, could you tell me, because I'm all about getting certified for whatever, if it helps me. What would you say, what are the, I guess some certifications that would be useful or helpful?
Maybe the SBA? That sounds more like the SBA to me.
SBDC. I'm on the SBDC, and then it says NWTPTAC. It's a workshop thing.
And did you find that maybe in resources?
Yes. Sorry.
Resources? No, you're great.
Yeah.
So where at? In AIU, be a partner?
I actually, it's under services. Now that I look, I accidentally clicked on services. I didn't mean to, but I meant to click on resources.
I don't have a services. I have events.
So maybe it's under resources. Click on resources without like, just click it and see if anything happens. Because I think that's what I did. No, maybe not. Huh.
Did you see this cowboy and everything though?
Yes. Let me go back one button and see where it takes me.
Please.
It's the #1 trusted small business resources, and the cowboy is not there. So.
Okay, let me show you another website and see if this is what you see. Okay.
Yes. Did I go to the wrong one? Oh yeah, I'm at a
well, I think you went to a different one. It's not the wrong one. There we go. The Small Business Administration. It's the one I don't work with as often.
That is not the one. Nope. No, I've been on that one. That's how I ended up getting a lot of the, I'm getting help with my business plan through them. But yeah, no, I'm on the, I'm sorry. I ended up on a .com. I don't know. I'm just going to go away from that, and I put in the wrong thing. So don't worry about it.
Okay, so this is all going to be in that paperwork for you though. But all you need is America's, notice that pluralization, right? americasSBDC.org. And since we've already started a post for you, Colleen, if you don't mind, what is your zip code, please?
37
37
37313. Oh my gosh. 37301 310. I'm sorry, I'm loaded up on cold medicine.
Don't apologize, you're fine. Is it
37001?
So 37301.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And that is near
Yep.
Chattanooga? Okay, excellent. So these are going to be the top 10 closest to you. Number 1 being the closest to the middle of your zip code, right? Like they don't have your address, just your zip code. So like if you take the middle of your zip code, it's going to be that far away from you. Okay.
Okay.
And they are simply amazing. I cannot speak highly enough of the assistance that I've received through all of the business mentorship that I've received for free since learning about what Matthew Lesko teaches about.
Okay. I think the Chattanooga State Technical, I think that's who I've been working with, one of them anyway, but thank you.
Absolutely. And this may be something else within it, or it may be exactly what you've already been doing, which just means that you're already on the right path, right?
It's probably not exactly, because I don't feel like I'm on, I don't know. We'll find out when I talk to the guy when he gets back from vacation, because it was holidays and, kind of a mess, but I'm hoping so. That would be great. I don't have to start over, but if I do, I do.
It's not starting over though, okay? You've already begun on that part of it. You want to have as many different resources within your network as possible. So it's not starting over, it's beginning a new resource.
Right.
An additional resource, okay?
Well, because they are helping me. They're going to help me build a business plan, and they're going to help me with marketing with Thrive. Thrive does like one for a year of marketing and helps you from the very beginning to getting the customers to help you closing the deals. So it's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. Oh, this is where we're at. Okay.
Thank you very much.
I'm not sure where that was coming from, but whoever that was as well, thank you both for participating, and you're both very welcome. Okay. So first, I'm going to provide the overall America's SBDC that will also be in the paperwork. And then this is the list that you and I just built together on their website.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, and look, they've changed their information too, right? We went through that in a class I did for my own network, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I think they changed it for the new year. It did end up being me, I think. I don't know, 2 garden planning websites that I'm reviewing kind of merged. And so I'm just kind of a little bit confused about what happened there, but wow, there is some really neat resources out there for free for you guys that like to garden. I have tons of them already put together for you. I can always provide those for you here. And also, all Let's Go Help members can get a lifetime free membership to my own community, Collectively Rewilding, where we focus on gardening and things like that, right? Instead of the grants, we're focusing on the work, putting the seeds into the soil or raising the chickens or whatever it may be. So lots of fun, and you guys are all welcome to come and play with us over there as well. So here is your post. I put those on there for you. And then did you have any other questions for us, Miss Colleen?
I could talk to you for hours. Of course I have questions, but I don't want to take up all your time. So I will just look at what I have so I don't overwhelm myself. But thank you. I really do appreciate your help.
It's so much fun, isn't it? It's just amazing.
It really is. I didn't know when I started this Lesko thing that I literally spend all of my day just going through all of this, and I'm like, oh my God, where did the day go? And it can be very yeah, I love it though. I've always loved this kind of stuff, so it's right up my alley.
Wonderful, wonderful. Then the more you love it, the more fun you have, the more time you will find to put into this. The more time that you find, the more experience you'll gain, the more you will come to know what you will be more likely and less likely to have success with, the more you will be comfortable explaining what you need, working with people that you have yet to meet, all of these beautiful things. I think that's how we can each guarantee our own individual success. No one else can give you a guarantee. Matthew is 100% correct about that. Anybody giving you a guarantee is a liar and probably a scam artist, okay? You, though, you each individually can, I believe, guarantee your own success by consistently and persistently utilizing these resources, these skills, and the available assistance that's out there for us that we as American citizens have decided to set aside for American citizens to further what they're doing in their own lives, whether that be personal or business, right? So we can guarantee our own success. No one else should ever guarantee us success in the grant hunting world. Okay. Any other questions? It really is very, very fun to work on your own stuff, guys. While I'm doing this, like I'm watching someone else's class. Any questions at all? I really do enjoy answering your questions. All right, well, let's tear into a little bit of the coordinating tab here. Lots of great material in here as well. Okay, we talked about locating the Farm Service Agency and Natural Resources Conservation Service, as well as the Rural Development Area Office, okay? Those are here. Now, let's see if this is talking about the same thing or if this is another USDA resource that we can look for in our area. Your local USDA Service Center. I mean, these are different. Farm Service Agency, Natural Resources Conservation Service, and the Rural Development Area Office, right? Okay, that's different than your USDA Service Center, I would think. They also have Food and Nutrition Service regional offices. Food and Nutrition Service has regional offices that serve the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, Southeast, Southwest, Mountain Plains, and Western regions. Food Safety and Inspection Service District offices. This is probably Tammy's area of interest right here, as well as Forest Service regional centers. So that's really neat, right? Those are additional regional offices in your area to coordinate, meet with, to possibly get free business mentorship with, all of these different wonderful opportunities. Contact the USDA and find answers to your questions. You don't have to go and do all of that. You can contact them and just ask them a question. They're going to get back to you. I guarantee you that they're going to answer your questions, but they're going to talk to you, right? Ask USDA makes it easy to find information from across the USDA or connect you with someone who can via phone, email, or chat. Wow, guys. Wow. Really, really amazing, amazing information. I might put together a little document that has all of these different types of farm coordinators, service centers, just all of this different stuff. One little nice cheat sheet for all of these offices for agricultural minded and living people, right? So beautiful. Find key agency contacts plus local offices, the agricultural marketing, research, animal and plant health inspection, economic research, Farm Service Agency we've talked about. They did talk about up above the food safety and inspection, foreign agricultural service. See, that's right there for Sharon Seymour. Beautiful, beautiful. Forest Service, they talked about up above. The FPAC Business Center. Let's find out what the FPAC Business Center is. FPAC Business Center. What is that? Farm Production and Conservation Business Center. Ooh, that sounds enticing. Grants and agreements, the first thing it says. Okay, we definitely found a gold mine there, guys. We'll all, this will all be in that document with tonight's class. I am getting caught back up. I had a plurality of hours over here above and beyond what I'd done, and I really needed to kind of take a step back. A lot of the classes have been kind of misfired lately, been late. Uchenna's was, oh my goodness, so late, and a lot of that's been my fault. Not every single instance, but most of that's been on me, and I love doing these. You guys hear how much I love it, you see it, but I have been a little burnt out And so I took some of my saved up hours and I've spent some time getting more further moved in and just kind of being inside myself and like resting a little bit so that I will quit screwing up on doing things that we need and all of us love, right? So I do apologize for those errors that have been happening lately, and hopefully this little rest and recuperation will help. If not, I've already spoken with Ethel, and she's going to actually take over the classes for me for a couple of days, maybe a week, so that I can just completely reboot and come back and get it corrected. But hopefully we've already gotten that taken care of. But so this will be there as I get caught up with the classes. This document will be there along with this class. All right. The National Agricultural Statistics Service. Interesting or not so interesting, depending on your outlook. The National Institute of Food and Agriculture, Natural Resources Conservation Service, which we've talked about, Office of Partnerships and Public Engagement. Whoa, did you guys see my tabs just shift up there all on their very own? That was interesting. Okay. Office of Tribal Relations, Risk Management Agency, Rural Development, which we've talked about, Rural Utilities Service, Rural Housing Service, Rural Business Cooperative Service. Ooh, that sounds like another really great person to engage with for your area or persons, right? Then look, find your state's outreach coordinators and liaisons. So this is going to be another list. FSA State Outreach Coordinators, NRCS State Office Contacts, Beginning Farmers and Ranchers Outreach Coordinators, which is one of these buttons here, right here. I have that pulled up for you guys as well. And then the USDA Liaison Directory, which is completely new to me. How fabulous. Look how many different ways you can get direct assistance with agricultural interests. Oh, how fabulous, you guys. So those first two tabs here that you can expand are all about different agencies that you can reach out with and coordinate with and network with and learn about and gain possible resources and funding from. Really, really neat. Technical assistance, insurance agents, and farmers markets, finding farmers markets in your area. That's really neat. Farmers Market Finder. That's really, really cool. Okay, Ask USDA, like we talked about above, they have a button here for that as well. And they just updated this a long time ago. So there's probably even more, and some of those links may not perfectly work, but then you saw how easy it was to go and research what they had listed, right? So that's how you can take that outdated, broken information and still find resources for today. Just amazing. And they have trending news and updates, all of this great information here for anybody that happens to be involved with the specific things that they're talking about here. All right, really fabulous. Let's see. I'm just going to move this. I don't know how to keep track exactly. I'll just move this over here as these were already really kind of coordinators and put that with what we are working on for tonight. Now, this is an example. This is my personal area for the local dashboard within the USDA Farmers.gov. This is not USDA.gov, this is Farmers.gov. And it is the local dashboard for Tooele County, Utah. View local farming news from USDA, cattle and other commodity prices, weather data, and more. Let us know what you think of your local dashboard. Utah news, the commodities prices as they mentioned, weather, upcoming weather, historical weather, storm events, protect your operation, explore USDA protection programs, the service centers, and this is what I'm always referencing when I look over here. I printed this little piece up. So this is where I found that. Funny that we would come across it. I didn't know exactly where I found it, but this is specifically for my area. That's why I did that. Then they have these additional resources. This is the, oh, that's who I spoke with there and wrote that down. Robin Sadler, I think is how she pronounced it. So all of these different pieces, this is for my area. And so you can find this for your area. Let's just go, we'll take this. And I'm going to close this one and make a new tab for us. And I'm going to paste that here. And then I'm going to put California. San Bernardino, and see if that works. Boom. Ah, didn't work. Okay, so change your location. Okay, so what I'll do, let's just do this. Find your local dashboard. So now you guys will be able to utilize that and find your local dashboard. All right, and so you're just going to select your state and your county and press go. Very, very fun. Okay, continuing on, your USDA Service Center. Well, we've definitely talked about that, right? Let's just double check and make sure that that was in your USDA Service Center. Yes. Okay, so we've talked reasonably deeply about that. This is something that, in fact, we had over here, I believe. Yes. Okay, so this is something that we've already visited pretty closely. We'll move on from there. Programs and support for small and mid-sized farmers. All right. Accessing capital, a loan, not as much as what we're interested in. Sometimes they will make them forgivable. That's not something we ever want to count on unless it's already discussed in the literature. And unless it's official, we still don't want to count on it, even if they're discussing that it could happen, right? The microloan, again. Organic certification cost share program. This is something that I'm actually interested in. I want to go beyond what the organic certification requirements are. At least from the last time that I researched them, they still allow a certain number of chemical sprays that are just considered less harmful, and I don't want to use any. We'll see if that works, if all of my strategies and research and experience equals out into something that I can avoid any kind of herbicide, fungicide, pesticide. Ugh, I don't like sides, right? That means death. There's uglier words that really, to me, are all kind of the same if we're talking about a population of people or a population of animals or insects. It's all death, right? We all work together. We all work better when we're balanced. And I don't like killing things. And I certainly don't like ingesting things that have elements that kill things inside them. I don't think that's good for me, right? That's a very contentious subject in our country, so I won't go too deeply in it, but that is about this topic, organic certification. Be aware they do allow a certain number and a certain amount of those numbers of chemical sprays still within organic certification. All right, here's risk management. So this is all about helping to make good decisions so that you're avoiding bad financial decisions, things like that, right? They're like trying to reduce crop insurance costs for beginning farmers and ranchers, and organic producers will benefit from the elimination of a previously required 5% surcharge on crop insurance premiums. That's wonderful. It did actually cost people a lot of money to become organic in the past, and I was wondering and hoping that that might have changed from the last time that I researched it. It looks like that's possible, right? Locating market opportunities. USDA's Farm to School program has put 7 new Farm to School coordinators on the ground. So cool. They're doing this in my home corner, Four Corners area. We've talked about that before. It was kind of where they did the pilot program. Super, super neat program. I really support and love it. Creating more opportunities for small and mid-sized livestock and poultry producers. Interesting. 10 million in Farm to School program grants that support schools as they purchase from local and regional sources. Okay, this is a little bit different, although I think it's still under the same program, and that's where these schools are actually growing as well. Something to look into in addition to what this is specifically talking about, as they say, one priority area, right? Market news, price data, grass-fed beef, National Farmers Market Directory, we've talked about that as well. Land management through the NRCS that we've talked about pretty extensively tonight. Food safety, good agricultural practice certification. Ooh, Tammy. educational resources and outreach for livestock and poultry, and then they're going to be releasing more as they go on. I would guess that they've probably released more than one. See if they have any kind of date on this. Doesn't look like it. So it may or may not be current, right? So I would guess, though, that it's possible that they've done more than just the small and mid-sized livestock and poultry producers as this series. Additional learning guides will be released, and Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food website. Interesting. So let's pull that up. Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food. Compass. Introducing. Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food does something about .org. .net. I avoid .net as well. This is another .org. .gov. And then you're starting to get into the .com, but then there's an edu. So we'll share that information as well, the applicable information. Nice. In addition, the NRCS, small-scale solutions for your farm, educational resources, small livestock and fruit and vegetable producers, tips on simple management activities such as planting cover crops to complex structural practices such as animal waste management systems or innovative irrigation devices. So I'm not interested in innovative irrigation devices. I'm interested in innovative usage of the land itself to store more water, right, from the natural sources as well as any that you put in from an irrigation system. New Farmers USDA.gov also serves as a one-stop shop for beginning farmers and ranchers to learn about how to get started. While not all small and mid-sized producers are new or beginning, many do start out small. So let's go ahead and open this one up in a new tab, but I'm going to actually copy the link address and add it to these out here that we've been kind of adding as we come across them, right? All right, well, it really did go like this in order. Here, I believe, yes. Additional resources and support, the Beginning Farmer and Rancher Development Program. I don't know if I've specifically seen that one. So again, let's go ahead and copy the link address and add it here. Yes, I'm already subscribed, but Beginning Farmer and Rancher Development Program. Beginning Farmer Education for Adult and Young Audiences in the United States. We're talking about the history here. Apply for a grant, download RFA, technical assistance webinar. Interesting. Okay. So definitely something to look into and tear through. All right. National Institute of Food and Agriculture's Agriculture and Food Research Initiative. Assist small farmers in their decision-making with respect to management strategies, new technologies, sustainability, and competitiveness and viability. Oh, wow, that's really cool. I'm going to copy that and add that over here. Oh, see, it's not always found even when you're talking about, okay, so we're just looking for the overall AFRI. Okay, so we're going to have to close this one. Got it? Yes. Okay. So now I have to go back over and grab it again. AFRI. Oh, nope, not so to that. Okay. Agriculture and Food Research Initiative, cross-cutting programs, requests for applications, sustainable agricultural systems, foundational and applied science. Like there's all kinds of great stuff. Okay, so that's where we'll leave that. This one we had found, yes. Okay. Value added producer grant. new products, create and expand marketing opportunities, and increasing producer income. Priority is available for small and mid-sized family farms, beginning and socially disadvantaged farmers and veterans. Super cool. You know, well, this list is going to be there already. Let's keep going. Farmers Market and Local Food Promotion Program. Socially Disadvantaged Groups Grant Program provides technical assistance to small, socially disadvantaged agricultural producers through eligible cooperatives and cooperative development centers. Awardees will be able to conduct market research, product and/or service improvement, feasibility studies, training, and implement business plans. Interesting. I wonder if that's like a mentorship program as well. Let's check that one out. Copy link address. Okay, so for some reason they chose to place it as New Mexico, and it's closed June 3rd. So it's possible that this could reopen up. And so if it closed on June 3rd, I guess it would open up any time now. So this would be one that you'd want to keep an eye on. Let's check and see if there's any difference when we change from state to state. Tried California before. Let's check out California again, see if it'll work for this one. Whoa, and it totally changed my link. Did you see that? It is closed for June 3rd again. So that'll probably be consistent then throughout the state. And so this is one to just check on periodically, right? Now let's do this. Let's go back. That changed it dramatically, and take this off. And I'm just curious what it'll do if we don't have a state on there. Okay, so this is the overall where you can find for any state. 60 days, 2 months. So that lets us know that it was available basically from April 3rd through June 3rd. April 3rd, yeah, from April 3rd. So on my calendar, if I were going to be looking into doing this, I would pull it up and I would put it probably for like May 15th, and then March 15th, and then March 20th, 25th, 30th, and then daily after that, right? And I would just keep checking to see if it's changed. Let's see if there's some sort of contact information. Oh, excuse me, my nose is itching me. Okay, this is where you'll need a UEI. And this is something that I recommend talking to Amber Hawkins on Monday, Tuesdays, or Fridays. She knows a lot more about SAM.gov, grants.gov, a lot of those, the different numbers done is an old term, and she was aware of it as they're transitioning, and so she's been experiencing it with the new system all along. So really great information that you can get a lot better detail from Amber Hawkins. And again, she has classes on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Okay. Yes, I see you. I do. Nobody else can see you though. Come up here and say hi if you're going to come up here and be a nuisance. Yeah? Say hi to everyone. Okay, go play. All right. You need to read the Federal Register notice for the details on what is needed, all these things, right? It gets kind of in-depth, and that's the stuff that we work on trying to figure out in our own time. But then if we come to a struggle point or something where we need to ask questions, this is something that we can give you our best idea of what steps we might pursue, helping you find maybe definitions, all these different things that we might be able to do, pointing you towards someone such as Amber Hawkins when that's applicable for something like SAMS.gov. I think it used to be SAM.gov. I don't even know about that though. That's more her area of expertise within our community. All right. Really, really interesting. Your nearest rural development office. So you can contact your rural development office. That's one of those things that's going to be in our list here, right here. Yeah. Okay. So this particular link, USDA Rural Development Area Office Locator, is going to be up there. And let's close this down so we can figure out where we were. That is who you can contact to see if this is going to be opening up, if they know if it's going to be opening up again, if there's any time period to watch out for, anything like that, right? Okay, that's exactly what I was hoping to be able to find. And then it talks to you about what happens if you do receive the grant a little bit and where you can find out more information about it. Again, your nearest rural development office. Super neat, super neat. All right, guys, I think that's a pretty good point to leave it for the night. Does anybody have any questions, whether it's about the material we just covered or anything at all? All right. Super, super positive class, guys. I do hope that by changing the time period next week, it'll be more beneficial for those of you who are interested in this topic especially, and for anyone wanting to join, because I do go through those skill sets. Like I was telling you, please, if you come across broken links like that 404 error not found, or things that just don't pull up anything, if you come across report links that don't work, I can't always get those fixed, but a lot of times I can get them fixed. Please bring those to class for me on every week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or this class every other Thursday, next one being on the 16th with a new time for Country Living and Business. That will be January 16th at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 6 o'clock p.m. Central, and 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And hopefully that will be a more engaging time period. I'm kind of fleshing it out to see if this is a viable topic and if we want it to remain, or if perhaps it's something that should kind of fade out and pick a different topic that has more general interest to the majority of our audience, right? So if you're interested, make sure to keep attending and let us know what topics you want covered and get that participation in there. That's what we're going to want to see going forward to keep this topic going on in the Let's Go Help community. All right, everyone, please look for those classes that will be getting posted. And the next class will be Miss Amber's class. I can never remember her times as I don't facilitate those out of the community. I don't facilitate Amber's, and I don't message you guys for Roger and Tammy's class. And so I'm a little bit less familiar with Miss Amber's. Let's check it out. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock a.m. Mountain, 9 o'clock a.m. Central, and 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Okay, sorry about that distraction there, you guys. I hope you are all able to make it, those of you who are interested. And with this class being so late, God, that's enough. Let's check and see what her Monday class time is, so that if you are unable to make her class tomorrow, you can join her on this coming Monday, January 6th at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 2 o'clock p.m. Central, and 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. All right. The next class that I will be with you guys in will be Tuesday, and that is at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 4 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 5 o'clock p.m. Central, and 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you all there, and hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. Thank you all. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Sabrina. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Tammy. All right. Bye, guys.